All right, hello, I'm Dylan.
All right, welcome back to the Totally Tangential Podcast, the podcast where we still don't have a tagline and we're still going to refuse to make one. My name is Jonathan,
And I'm Dylan.
and today we'll be talking about all things celebrity crushes, reality dating shows, and a little game mixing the two later on. But before we get to that, I just want to start with asking, how was your week? Kind of the whole point of this podcast is us catching up and keeping in touch. So,
True,
yeah.
true. It's been going pretty good. I will say, when you messaged me when I was at work on, I think Friday or Thursday, whichever it was, and you told me that you had a big idea for the podcast, I've been really looking forward to, like, ooh, what's he got planned? So I am now interested because just as everyone else heard what the topics are, that's the first time that I've heard. So I'm looking forward to how that's going to go. But
Yeah, I wanted to keep you in suspense, but not enough that you could actually think on it.
yeah, exactly. But beyond that, the week's been going pretty well, all in all. I told you that, like, a week or two ago, I bought a PS4 because it's like $400 cheaper than a PS5 right now. And I've had some stuff that I've been playing a little bit solo here and there, but she really likes shooting games, and she's never played Call of Duty before. So I thought, like, oh, let's get the remake of Modern Warfare and see how that goes, see how she likes it. Hopefully, it's something that we can play together. And it's been fun, but it's also been kind of funny because she's very competitive, and she's also really terrible at it. So like. She'll put the bots on her team on hardened, and all of mine are on regular, and we'll do, like, 5v5 team deathmatch, and she'll get like 10 kills and 14 deaths, and is like last or second to last on her team of hardened bots, and my team will be at, like, 14 kills each, and then me up at the top with like 42 kills. So it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, no, honestly, I hate that feeling being competitive and sucking at something because it eats you up until you just have to get better. We're gonna see if she goes all Vegeta on this and actually like overcomes through, sheer determination and then loses anyway, like Vegeta,
Yeah.
or, all of that. But nah, that actually reminds me, growing up, because I used to play a lot of Black Ops with my cousin, and what we would often do is, other than just playing online normally, one thing we loved doing was 2v2s on something like Nuketown or whatever with two veteran bots.
Oh,
And
okay.
oh my god, like those bots sometimes it's actually unreasonable the stuff they do. Like no human could do it, absolutely not. So it's just like honestly, bot matches they can be pretty fun.
Yeah, they definitely can be. I mean, compared to like a game with League of Legends where there's so many micromanagey things that you need to do, since it's basically just aim and shoot or, throw a grenade or something, if you just have a bot that's really good at aiming and shooting with reaction time, that's pretty much all you need for a good match.
Yeah, honestly, and I don't think that anyone plays Call of Duty except for maybe like FaZe Clan, but I don't know. I don't watch them. I don't care. I don't know that anyone actually plays Call of Duty with a set strategy. So honestly, just having the bots just run around randomly and taking shots at you seems pretty par for the course.
Yeah. But beyond that, one other thing that I've been thinking about throughout the week, which I thought was interesting, I wondered what your opinion on it is, because I know that you have always been pretty, like, you like to save your money, for lack
Yeah.
of better words. And something that I've noticed, which I think is funny, is I told you that I bought her, like, the Mario Lego set. And that was when I had like $300 to my name, and it cost like $240. And I had no issues going down to like 60 to buy that. And there was no occasion or anything. It's just like, oh, I think this is something fun that we could do together. And I had no issue spending that money. But now that I'm making money, there's a sale on Steam, the Steam Summer Sale, and there's games that's like, oh, normally it's $60, but instead it's $30. And it's just like, I don't know if I want to buy that. Despite me now, after having worked for like 2-3 weeks, like $1,000 in the bank account. It's like, why am I fine with spending $250 when I have no money to spend? But when I have $1,000 to spend, $30 is just like, oh God, should I spend it or not?
I totally get what you mean, and I actually, even if it is like a logical fallacy of sorts, I don't think it's that unreasonable because now that you're working, you can actually put a monetary like no, you could put a time value on the money. Like $30, you'll be like, that's 2 hours of my time. Like sure,
Yeah.
you're probably gonna spend a lot more than 2 hours on that game, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, it makes sense, certain parts of it, but I do just find it funny regardless.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. But Actually, I wanted to ask. You said you're getting a PS4 again, obviously Call of Duty and whatnot. But
Yeah.
what other games have you been getting or are planning on getting for it?
So I also got I got Persona 5 Royal Edition because
Nice.
I just wanted like a JRPG or something like that that just feels like it would play really well on the PlayStation. Because certain things, like I played Near Replicant on the PC, but honestly, games like that, in my opinion, are just so much more suited towards being console games. So
Yeah.
Persona 5 the same way, and apparently Royal Edition is like whenever you look up top 10 games on the PlayStation 4, it almost always pops up in the top 10. So I thought, like, okay, I saw the anime for Persona 4 and I enjoyed that, and I know generally what it's supposed to be about with this. It's like Final Fantasy, they're not necessarily connected, it's just a general
Yeah.
theme that goes along with it. But yeah, I played that a little bit, but it's easier to play like an hour of Call of Duty after work with her than it is to sit down and be like, okay, let's only play this JRPG for 1 hour.
Well, that's what kind of made me like stay away from so many games. But then I like think on, it, I'm like, well, that thought process has to fall apart at some point because otherwise, when am I literally ever gonna play those? Because I'm always gonna be working. So, no, I get what you mean. It's just kind of a tough struggle.
Yeah, but I mean, all in all, it's pretty good. Considering that I would feel worse about it if I buy a PS5 for $500 or $600 and barely play
Yeah.
it. But when I can buy a PS4 for $170 and then have some games that I play occasionally with it, for me that's a lot easier to just justify and rationalize.
Yeah, no, for sure. And at least as far as Persona goes, I've also heard that it's like pretty unanimously one of the best games of that generation. And I don't believe you can actually get Royal on PC unless you can somehow get a PS4 emulator going, which I haven't heard of yet. But point being, I don't know. I even own the game. I haven't played it yet, but the game looks really good, and everyone I know who's played it absolutely loves it and calls it one of their favorite RPGs. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you'll probably like it.
Yeah, I'll let you know as I get through that, but that probably will take quite a bit of time, like I said, with the time constraints. But that aside, what about you? Any notable updates within this past week?
During the week, not really, but just busy with work and taking two accelerated classes gonna eat up all my time.
Oh, yeah.
But during last weekend, I did actually, have a bit of fun. On Saturday, I caught up with some friends of mine. I'll avoid names for the sake of, anonymity, whatever. I'm not gonna pronounce it. For the sake of privacy, there we go. Point being, but we met up and I've only seen one of them like twice this whole year. The other one I went to Vegas with not that long ago, but I haven't
Okay.
actually seen or talked with him ever since Vegas.
Thank you for something where now I know who they are, because otherwise I was really like, which couple of friends is this? But I
Yeah,
got
no
it.
worries. I was gonna find ways to sneak it in for you.
Yeah.
But that was good. That was fun getting to catch up with them. And then the following day, I went to my cousin's family barbecue, which family barbecues aren't really my thing, but actually the only family there was my aunt. Everyone else was just like the wife's side of the family, which is not the one I'm related to.
Okay.
So it was no one I had like any sort of relationship with, which honestly, I don't know, kind of nice. It was like just vibing with my cousin, eating good food, listening to decent music. Like, I had a good enough time.
Yeah, it sounds good for sure. Actually, something that I am curious about, because I think it was this past week, right? That the Juneteenth stuff is, I guess, since last year. I was in Korea during that time last year, so I didn't realize, but is now like a federal thing. So for me, we didn't get the day off, but we get like double time pay essentially. So I'm curious for you, at your job, did you get the day off? Did you get like bonus pay? What was the case for you?
Juneteenth would have been this last.
Monday.
Well, I mean, the actual. Yeah. No, I don't. I know I didn't get the day off because I went into work, but as far as getting extra pay, not as far as I'm aware of, but I'll let you know, like, next week when I get my paycheck, if it seems suspiciously large.
Okay.
But yeah, nah, beyond that, let me think. There was one other thing that was. Oh, yeah. I guess, like, a future plan, not really set in stone yet, but one of my closest friends since middle school, and then another friend that I've reconnected with, we hang out a lot. We're planning on going out on June 22nd to go up to Irvine for just a hangout, and there's a few interesting feelings there. One, I always love going back to Irvine. Great food, a lot of fun stuff to do, amazing city in my mind. It's always weird going back, considering it's where I went to university, which hasn't ended on a great note, but hopefully will revive on a better one.
Yeah.
But the real feeling that I'm actually going to get into is to make it there on time, I would have to take a half day at work, which is nothing amazing at all. I might even take the whole day off, because I've built a goodwill there in the meantime, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never once taken a single day off of any of my jobs ever. So it kind of feels weird because it's like, this feels mildly irresponsible, but this is just something that people normally do.
Yeah, no, I actually do feel you on that, because with the jobs that I've had as well, it's been, pretty discouraged in a way to take days off, especially with sick days, which I find ironic, because most of the jobs that I had were food-related or you were next to children. So
Don't you love that?
Yeah, exactly. But, yeah, you'll have to let me know how that goes. Something that I was glad with the job that I have is apparently every quarter you get an extra 3 days off, so you get whatever hours you have, but then you get 3 days tacked onto that. So it seems like it's pretty decent as far as racking up days. I mean, it's clearly not as good as a lot of the, Sweden or whatever it is that have the, 2 months of personal time off every year, but it's decent enough, I guess.
Yeah, no, for sure. Just some jobs are so much better when it comes to benefits. My last job before this one, they told me I get paid time off. I got 4 days off for the whole year. Ooh, boy. Which, let me tell you, later on we switched to we were originally 4 days work week. So when we switched to 5-day work week, the benefit did not accrue. The hours were still the same, sure, but just it was just kind of frustrating. It was like, wow, no extra benefit tacked on for a changing in work schedule or anything. So that was BS. But at this current job, I've been there 2 months and 6 days, and I already have 4 days accrued. So it's just wow, in 2 months, I've accrued the same amount that I accrued on an entire year at my last job. That is amazing.
Yeah, well, you'll have to let me know how it goes when you actually request the time off.
It shouldn't be too bad. I don't know. Other people have requested a good amount of days off, so I can get 1 day off, probably.
For sure. But unless you got more to that, I'm excited to get into your juicy surprise topics.
Yeah, I don't think that I really want to go into any other stuff because it's all minor, so I'm willing to get into the meat of this episode.
Okay.
All right, so with that, we're going to start with the very first subject, which was celebrity crushes. So, celebrities, they're just like us, only infinitely more rich, successful, well-known, and also infinitely more desperate to hold on to that fame so that they don't end up like the rest of us.
Okay, fair, I guess.
Yeah. But with that said, I'd be lying if I said I didn't have some kind of celebrity crushes myself growing up. I've actually had probably way too many for someone who doesn't really follow celebrity or celebrity culture all that much, but, they're always in the limelight, you're going to see them and all that. But, those tastes kind of change throughout our lives and all that. Maybe who we find attractive at one point we don't find attractive at another, blah, 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 all that stuff. Or maybe the celebrity gets canceled for being a terrible person, you morally no longer like them.
Yeah.
But with that, I just want to start by asking, did you ever have any celebrity crushes growing up?
Growing up, as in when I was younger, I think that, the first time that I had a real celebrity crush, which, once again, this is something where, as they grew older and I grew older, it's something where it's oh god, I don't even want to mention this person. But, do you know who Bella Thorne is?
I actually do. She was on Shake It Up, right?
Yeah, that's where I got it from. I would watch Shake It Up, which, I don't know, I mean, dancing is cool, plus they sang a bit in there, even if it was auto-tuned and all that stuff, and it just showed them as, kind of hip, cool young girls and all that stuff. So for me, at the time, it was just okay, there was even some crappy Disney Channel music video that would play during commercial breaks and all that stuff. And that was probably my first real and only childhood anyway celebrity crush.
You really only had one?
Yeah, for me, pretty much. When I got a bit more older into the high school stuff, I mean, I got into K-pop, and you and I have both talked about, various people with that. But as far as when I was younger, Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you gotta remember as well. I mean, I guess some people this considers as like crushes or whatever, but I pretty much just watched anime and all that stuff. So there might be like, oh, I loved C2 from Code Geass. You saw that I had a body pillow of her that a friend got for me and that stuff. But no, as far as like real people, yeah, I don't know. Off of like Cartoon Network was mainly cartoons. Disney Channel, there was no one that was super my type. There might be like relatively attractive people, but no one huge. And then Nickelodeon, like Victoria Justice was always super attractive, but it was never enough for me to say that it was like a full on crush. It was just like this person is very attractive.
Dude, you and I are on completely opposite ends of this spectrum. Like, I had celebrity crushes on, like, every Nickelodeon girl. Like, I watched, what's it called? I watched Zoe 101 growing up, so Jamie Lynn Spears, Aaron Sanders, who was later on Big Time Rush, and Victoria Justice, who was, like you said, later on victorious. I had crushes on Miranda Cosgrove. Ariana Grande was my biggest to that point, but Liz Gillies was still pretty great. And then I was just like other like singers too. It was just like if there was a celebrity, I probably had a crush on them.
Interesting. Well, I'm curious then of like, what for you is the experience of having a crush like? Because for me, I could look at like Victoria Justice and be like, she's very attractive, and maybe occasionally like look up on Google or watch the show just like pictures of her because I found her attractive. But I would never consider it a crush because there was never like, for me, a crush there has to be like some emotional bit to it as well, just like a middle school crush or something like that. And for me,
fair enough.
With it purely being off of like physical attractiveness, it was hard for me to ever have like more what I would consider a crush. So for you, did you have like emotions that came from it even though you knew that they were like playing a character, or like I don't know, I'm just curious what your experience with it is.
I guess maybe crush might be overstating it because there wasn't any sort of emotional connection, but also I feel like if you're getting a strong actual emotional connection just from a celebrity, that's probably not a healthy parasocial relationship. But
yeah, I mean that's fair, but I mean as far as like especially bringing up the word parasocial,
yeah.
I watched Ludwig, for example, on YouTube, and he you can still tell the personality enough where even if it's an exaggerated form, where there's some kind of emotional connection that's brought up. Obviously, it's not as strong as if you know the person in person, and it's something that, from the parasocial standpoint, you definitely shouldn't put too much weight to it by any means, but there's still something that you feel there, which is part of the reason why you're attracted to this person as far as just like watching their content, because it's like, oh, I could see myself hanging out with this guy or something like that. So I don't know, was that the case to an extent for you, or was it just person is attractive, me like?
So very, very, very rarely was there any sort of even mild emotional connection. So yeah, I might have been using the term a little loosely, but I'll put it like this. I would find the person attractive and attractive enough to vaguely keep tabs of them. Like, I don't know, maybe like Ariana Grande is coming out with a new album. Yeah, I generally like her music, but the real reason I give it a listen is because I'm like, oh, you're someone who I had a mild crush on growing up. Or like, I don't know, Victoria Justice, I'll find out, oh, she's in a Netflix movie. Honestly, she's a bad example because I haven't checked out anything with her since then. But I don't know, she made a song a couple years ago or maybe a year ago. I checked it out. It was pretty awful. But the only reason I checked it out was because growing up, I'm like, oh, yeah, that was a person who was on TV that I thought was attractive. I gotta check this out. And then, I guess enough mild emotional investment that I will go out of my way to see what they're up to every few years, I guess.
Gotcha. Okay, that's fair enough, I suppose.
So, maybe I was using the term a little lightly, but I'll still say, it applies. But so growing up, you mentioned that it did expand to like K-pop idols, and they're kind of like manufactured in a way to appeal to people. So I don't really blame you for that one, to be entirely honest.
Yeah, something that I will say, which, I mean, this may not be one-to-one what you were hoping for, but I have more like friendship crushes than I do like romantic crushes, and by that I mean of just like like you brought up Big Time Rush as an example. I was less like, oh, let's look up Joe from Big Time Rush because I find her attractive or something. I'd be like, let's look up Kendall, because I think that Kendall's like a super cool dude, the character that he's playing, and he looks like a nice guy and he seems fun and all of that stuff. Like, for me, it's more guys where me being a completely heterosexual male, there was like no romantic aspect to it. It was just purely of just like, oh, it kind of goes to the parasocial friendship where I would just be like, oh, this person seems so cool, or, oh, I would see the, like, extras for BTS, the K-pop group, and be like, oh, they're playing games just like I do, and oh, this guy seems cool, and stuff like that. So for me, I had more, like, friendship bro crushes than I did have, like, romantic crushes.
Well, ironically, it kind of sounds like we're vaguely describing the same thing, only coming from a different emotional state. Mine's, I found insert person attractive. Yours, I found insert person cool or entertaining.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of funny, because I think we are largely coming from the same place.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I am curious then, did you ever have any, like, wow, that guy seems cool, I want to, like, know more about him, or anything like that? Or not quite as much for you?
Let me think.
Like, I don't know. I know that you like Drake and Josh, and Drake, obviously, before the crazy stuff that happened recently. He was a popular guy amongst guys and girls, so...
Now he's Drake Campana, I think.
Yeah.
But not like, I think not traditional celebrities, but I will occasionally go back and check on, like, influencers, to use that word I hate so much. But, I don't know, like, I'll go back and check on Smosh every now and then, see how, like, Anthony and or Ian are doing, even if Anthony's not part of them. I'll check on Nigahiga, even though I know he's like a Twitch person now. I'll check on Insert Person. I'll even check on Laserbeam, even though I haven't watched a video from him in literally years.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know, what is Insert Person up to? They were someone who I did dedicate a portion of my life to. They made some good days better, bad days more tolerable. So I'll check on them.
Okay.
Like, no doubt about it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I don't know. It's just like, I feel like these are like healthy levels of, dedication to have celebrities and celebrity culture, I guess, because some people actually really get into it, like spend like hours over the course of a week, not a day, hopefully, but just keeping up with celebrity drama. Who's the latest thing? What's the latest dating rumor? Blah, blah, blah. And I just cannot do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that I went to KCON, the Korean convention, and it has a concert for quite a few years throughout, like, high school and beginning of college. And I remember that was one thing that I always hated, is despite the fact that at the time, K-pop, or a lot of different Korean music was the main stuff that I listened to, my reaction whenever I see someone that I like or anything like that is never to scream or be like, oh my god. It's just very like, oh, this is cool. And that's about as far as it goes. And that was something that I hated as far as, I guess, celebrity crushes go, or whether it's a crush or not, is that it was probably like 90% like young girls at those concerts, and they would just scream their fucking heads off. And for me, it detracted from it so much where I just wanted to stop going to the stuff. I started going more to there's Korean Music Fest, which was held at like the Hollywood Bowl or something like that, which was more of an all-age thing. You'd have some older people there because it wasn't just K-pop. There was like Korean opera and stuff like that. And I mean, if you're the kind of person who does scream and all that stuff, it's completely fine, because if not there, where else are you supposed to be able to do it? But just for me, like, I personally find that level of dedication for anyone, crush-wise or not, is just like way too much for me.
Well, yeah, I just don't think like either of us could ever get to the mindset of A, wanting to do that, but B, even if we wanted to do that, I don't know that either of us would have the confidence to just do that.
True.
Like, we'd probably be extremely socially conscious and like nervous trying to do that.
Yeah, we really would be. Just like, man, does my voice sound off to everyone? Oh, am I doing this right? It's just, it's not the same as certain people who can just do it because it feels natural. I mean, it's the same case with like dancing for us. And both of us, anytime that we've done like dancing stuff, it's been like, oh, I'm gonna put AOA on screen and then dance to it in a funny way. Where some people are just like, they hear music and they want to move, and I hear music and I'm like, this is pleasant. I am fine sitting here and doing nothing else.
Yeah, I have never once felt compelled to dance, no matter how like good the music is, how drunk I am, or anything. I've never once felt the like impulse, so I don't get it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess one thing I'll wrap up this subject with, maybe something you could relate to, and I'm gonna shift away from growing up and just kind of like growing up celebrity crushes and talking about like shifts in celebrity crushes trends I've had, because like like, this logically makes sense, but it's just like the people I've tended to have crushes on have changed with the form of entertainment I subscribe to.
Okay.
So like growing up, it was a lot of like children TV show stars who are older than us, to be clear.
Yeah, we were children at the time.
Yeah, we were children. They were teenagers. So like this was, that kind of thing. But so that was what I liked growing up. But then, as I reached like young adulthood and all that, it would have been like a lot of at that point, it would have been a lot of K-pop stars. Like, I would have been, like, finding, like, oh, my God, this person's so attractive.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, that's because I listened to a lot of K-pop at that point. So, like, I was just constantly surrounded by it.
Yeah,
whereas
then
at this point,
when you become an adult, it went back to child TV show stars.
Oh, God. And that is the final episode of the Totally Tangential podcast.
Hey, 3's a good number.
Oh, man. But all that aside, but now, like, even now, it's just kind of like I don't listen to as much K-pop. Like, I'll find, K-pop people attractive, but just like not the same anymore. Nowadays I'm kind of moving on to like influencers again, so like I find insert YouTuber attractive, and then there's like a parasocial relationship there and everything, but just kind of like interesting because like now I don't find many actors or actresses all that attractive in comparison to growing up. I loved actors and actresses, even like Emma Stone, Mila Kunis, people who were like significantly older than us.
Yeah,
like now I just don't really find many attractive at all. I don't find Haley Steinfeld all that attractive, or Zendaya's pretty attractive, so I won't lump her in, but like other like actresses and all that, like it's shifted. Like I don't watch as much of it. I just don't find anyone in that medium attractive anymore. It's weird.
I think it makes sense to an extent because something that I've noticed for me, and I think we've talked before, and I think this at least somewhat applies to you, is that finding someone attractive can be heavily or at least mildly influenced by their personality, where someone who, is physically a 10 out of 10 but has a shit personality, their physical attractiveness goes down in my mind, where someone who's like, but you get to know them and you have lots of things in common and all of that stuff, their physical attractiveness in your mind also goes up. So if you're putting so much more attention on K-pop, on influencers, and so on, I feel like since you just have a more personal connection, even if it is parasocial, might influence the looks more to it as well.
So I think that's a fair conclusion to make. And then, one thing I want to piggyback off that I find strange, maybe you'll relate, maybe not. In addition to personality, one thing I found significant in how much I find celebrities attractive or not is if I find they're talented. And, like, I'm going to give two specific people as an example of this, and they're both going to be K-pop people. So,
I think I remember one of them, so yeah, let's see.
Okay. Well, one of them I'll give as an example. This is a very recent one. I don't know that I've actually talked to you about this one.
Mm-hmm.
From ITZY, I think we both generally agree that one member was less attractive than the rest. I'm not going to give names on this one, but point being, I started like finding out, oh my god, this person is super talented at I'll leave what they're talented at. I'm gonna not bury any celebrities. I'm gonna K-pop stands after us, but I'm like, this person is extremely talented, and now when I see pictures of them or see whatever, I'm like, they're really attractive, even though like 6 months ago I would have said they're literally not attractive whatsoever, and if I met them in person I would not like pursue them, and now I'm like, man, if they're in my class I'd totally ask them out solely because I found out they're talented. Mm-hmm. It's like weird. Or then another one, like more positively, and I will give names here. Wait, no, that's still kind of thing where I don't find... Whatever, point being, yeah. And then my favorite, like, artist over the past couple years, like, oh my god, I binge her music and never really stopped for, like, 3 years straight now. Mm-hmm. I genuinely did not find her attractive. Then I've, like, found out, oh my god, this person can sing amazingly. And then I actually watched a couple interviews, and like, oh my god, this person's actually nice and funny. That may be the closest I ever got to getting an actual mild emotional attachment to a celebrity.
Okay.
So, I don't know, it's just strange. Literally, like, personality is one, but also talent is another, and that's very strange to me, actually.
Yeah, I do find it interesting, but also something that I find interesting as well, to also partially throw you under the bus, is that none of these people are... Which I know that your type has changed, but... throughout the years, and especially when we were younger and knew each other, your type has been more the scene girls and stuff like that. And,
was.
If you say so. But But yeah, it seems like none of those people at the time where you would have considered yourself more into that type anyway match up with that necessarily. So, which I mean, I guess it makes sense because just because you're attracted to like a K-pop star doesn't mean that you're only going to find K-pop stars in real life that you're attracted to. But I do just find it interesting that there were no big scene girl celebrities that you were throwing out there.
I'll throw one thing into this. I'll say the only reason, and I can't say the only reason that's the case, is because by the time I actually grew up enough to, like, you know, engage in that kind of scene, it was already over. Like, because that scene started when we were kids, so by the time we were teenagers, it was dead. But, like, you know, growing up, so when I was the right age range, even now I'm kind of still roughly in the area, but, like, I find Hayley Williams extremely attractive, or Avril Lavigne or whatever, you know, just that kind of general celebrity that engaged in the scene somewhat. Mm-hmm. Like, they were attractive, it's just by the time I hit the age they were, like, they were already, like, I don't know, I don't actually know how old they are, but I'm going to say at least half a decade older and no longer engaging in that. Okay. So just, like, I don't know, I guess it would be like a historical celebrity crush, but then that just seems kind of weird.
Yeah, I guess fair enough.
The one thing I will throw in, though, Billie Eilish is in that scene, at least in terms of her style, 100%. And I would genuinely probably call her my biggest, like, English-speaking celebrity crush. Like, actually, probably just my biggest celebrity crush overall, yeah. So, there's still a bit of me, you know, that still has a soft spot for that scene.
Okay. I mean, glad to hear that I'm not crazy with it.
You are not crazy. But we are going to talk about something that is crazy. And you know what that is?
What?
Reality dating shows. Okay. Yeah, like, everyone acknowledges they're trash. Like, people say The Bachelor's trash, or Love Island, or whatever. Singles Inferno is a popular Korean one lately. And, like, everyone agrees it's trashy TV. Yet I feel like everyone has watched at least one of them. And it's like a guilty pleasure. Even if they don't watch it extensively, they've at least seen a few episodes. Mm-hmm. Okay, so first off, have you watched any? Because I definitely have, and I'll be getting into it.
For me, the thing that I'll start off with that I watched a bit when I was younger is my grandmother, before she passed away, was actually really into The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, and she would even, like, she would write down on her notepad of, like, who she thought was going to win and stuff like that. So I caught a couple episodes in her room, but it was never something that I was into particularly. But as far as, like, actual TV goes, I mean, let's be real, we grew up, despite the fact that we were born in the late 90s, I mean, unless your family was directly into it, TV was kind of dying out in popularity by the time that we were in middle school, so it's not like there were tons of times to watch it unless it was directly in front of you because of someone else. So for me, the closest thing that I'll have to say is I'll watch a lot of these YouTube videos that are like blind dating things, just like, oh, they can't see each other, but, you know, they ask these questions, or one guy is on his phone and then there's 100 girls, and, you know, he'll be like, oh, if you look like this, if you're interested in this, and then, you know, it goes down until there's the top X amount of people left. Or it can be sometimes that it's two people and they do see each other, and this is their morning clothes, this is their work clothes, this is this clothes, and then at the end they'll, you know, oh, if you like this person more than 7 out of 10, then the light will come up, and if both of you do that, then you guys can go on a date or something. So for me, not as much real dating shows, since none of my family members were necessarily into that. But I mean, that it's a form of dating shows in a way, so probably those for me.
I count that. So you've fallen into the pit just as I have, but unfortunately yours sounds a bit more defendable than the one I watched.
What's the one that you watched? Because I don't think I remember us ever talking about this.
We never did. It's my guilty pleasure show because it's objectively bad. I hate the show, but it started in January. It just ended like less than a month ago, and I watched every episode. It came out weekly, and I watched it weekly.
Oh, so it's a new show then?
Well, it's been on for a few years, but it's a new season.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
what is it?
Yeah, it is called Temptation Island.
Okay, so I have not heard of Temptation Island.
Okay, let me give you the premise. The premise is that, a number of couples, this season it was 4 couples go to an island, and all 4 couples are struggling in one way or another. And what happens is they are separated from one another at the start of the show, and they are placed in a mansion with only, the other couples, like half the couples that are their gender. So all the guys go to one, all the girls go to the other. And then everyone else in the house with them are the opposite gender. So all the guys are with cute single girls trying to tempt them and vice versa.
Wait, are they single girls or are they the girls of the other partners?
The girls are all single. So, like, all the people who are in relationships, they go to the same houses, just opposite gendered, and then they're surrounded by random, people selected by the show.
Okay. I thought it was going to be, like, partner swap situation, but this is different.
Nah. That would be too personal, and I don't think anyone would break in that circumstance. But this is them just, like, being tempted. They get to go on, sometimes fun dates. I might get into that later. But they get to go on dates with one another. They go, party every single night, get to know one another. And at the end of, every other episode or so, a screen cap, like a cut of what their partner's been up to is shown to them. And they, get to react, see, and then it, affects how they do certain things. Point being, the whole show is, will you cheat on your partner? Is literally the premise of the show.
Okay.
And, it's such a trashy premise, where you're actively encouraging people to cheat on one another, and yet I still ate it up and watched every single episode of the season. Oh my goodness, it was so bad, but I was so invested. I kind of get why people get invested in these things.
Okay, well, I have two things that I want to say. One is I would love it if there was an all cuckold season, so all of them are into it the entire time. So they're like, yeah, cheat on me. But that aside, so with a lot of shows, I guess, there's normally, a prize at the end. Is this just, purely slice of, I know it's not really slice of life, but just, I wonder what's going to happen? Or is there a prize of whoever's the last one to cheat on their partner gets $1 million or something like that?
There is no prize like that. The premise is twofold in my mind. One, the more direct one, is you either find out, you are made, you and your partner are made for each other. You resisted temptation, so you leave the island together. Mm-hmm. Or you realize maybe you two aren't made for one another, and you leave alone. Or you find someone on the island who is, more suited for you and leave with them. Either way, you find out something significant about your romantic relationship and love life and what you need in a relationship. Mm-hmm. And you leave the island with that knowledge. Okay. But I think the more important one is the second prize, which is you get a month on a resort island in mansions doing nothing but partying and going on dates with cute singles. There is no prize needed. That sounds like fun.
Okay, fair enough. I am curious then, does it stay on the same four couples the entire time? Or if one of them does give in to temptation, quote unquote, then is it just you're off the show? Or is it okay, well now I get to fuck whoever I want to, and it just continues as Fuckfest Central?
Oh, it's the latter one. One person will do something, the other person will see it in their edit that they're shown, and they just get revenge sex, and it gets petty, and oh man, it sometimes hurts seeing the look on the people's faces when they would see what their partner would do, but then I'm well, you came here voluntarily, and you knew the premise of the show, Okay. I'm just saying, not to victim blame and everything, but it's literally what you signed up for.
Well, I'm also curious, which I'm not sure if you know this, but reality shows vary in their reality. So
yeah.
Some are more or less completely scripted, despite being called reality. Some are just there's some things that might be a little bit, here or there, but generally it is real reactions, real this and that. So with something like this, in your mind, does it seem like it's real, or does it seem like it's pretty much okay, now you're gonna go pretend that you're having sex with this guy, and are these people even real couples, and blah blah blah?
I'll put it like this, based off the vibe I got, I don't think production stepped in to tell them what to do per se, beyond just setting up the dates, but I do genuinely believe that every single one of the couples went on to the show with the intention of trying to get some kind of social media clout.
Okay.
It really seemed like they were acting on camera and trying to get social media followers. So that felt fake. And also, this is something I kind of want to, legitimately do. This is just big brain moment. I kind of want to get in a fake relationship with someone for, 6 months. That way, then we can go onto the show and you say we're having relationship struggles. But really, we just get a month resort of just partying, drinking, going on dates. And then we find someone we each want there. And then we act super torn up about it. But, we really just got set up.
Well, knowing with how you have been with people, I imagine this is what it's going to go like in your mind, but in reality, you get there and you're just going to be super awkward and sitting in the corner messaging me like, Dylan, when are we going to do the podcast? I feel so weird right now.
And then I get kicked off the show for leaking events before it gets aired on TV.
Exactly.
Oh, man. I don't know. I don't think I would actually have that great of a time, to be honest. But I mean, hey, I'll take a 1 month stay on an island regardless. Like, that does sound like fun.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough.
Like, they would do things like hang gliding. What else would they do? They would go on drives, which isn't sounding very great. I don't know. They just do fun dates. Like, you get the idea.
Yeah, I can imagine me if I was there, and it's literally just like, yeah, can I ignore all the people, and, the massages are free, and the buffet is free? Okay, just massage, buffet, sleep, massage, buffet, sleep, and that would be my stay there.
That's literally living the life, though.
Yeah.
Alright, but on this subject, though, I do have one very important question for you.
Yes.
Would you, assuming you were single, like, think of yourself, like, a year ago or something, would you ever go on a dating reality TV show?
I think I would. Not necessarily because I'd enjoy it, but just because, one, presumably they're getting paid, and two, because you and I have had shitty situations or weird situations happen, and just roll with them purely because, like, hey, this is going to be a fun story to tell later. Yeah. So I think if for nothing else, it's just like, I'm going to go on this thing. This thing is going to be terrible and a mess, but it is going to be one hell of a story to tell later on.
Yeah, I was thinking about, like, you could, like, tell your friends about it, then you guys get to watch it on TV and make, like, inside jokes about it, and, like, you all get to dunk on each other. It'd be, like, literally so much fun.
Yeah, what about you? I mean, you kind of gave your answer for it, but I wonder in, like, a less joking manner, what would you do? Would you consider, or pretty similar on my standpoint, or what?
I think as long as I didn't have school going on, like, maybe if I graduated or whatever, I absolutely would. Like, that sounds like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Like, how often do you get to go on TV and, like, experience that kind of thing? So it's not even, you get a great story out of it, but also just, like, literally when else is this going to happen? I think you kind of have to seize the moment. Yeah,
I am kind of interested in you saying it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and it is with more traditional TV stuff, but I know that you're not huge on Twitch, which neither am I, but I'll watch a lot of, like, YouTube stuff from Twitch. And have you ever heard of something called The Austin Show?
It's vaguely familiar. I could not tell you what it's about, though. What is it?
So it is kind of a dating game show, where it'll be one guy or one girl, and then, all guys and all girls, or sometimes it's mixed if that's the person's preference or whatever the case may be. But basically, it's on Twitch. He'll have, like, I'm not sure if he still does it, but normally it was like once every couple weeks or once every month. And basically it would be the one contestant and, let's say, 10 to 20 I guess other contestants, the people vying for the person's love, kind of like The Bachelor or something like that. But basically, it was called, like, Lover Host is, I think, what it got renamed to, because basically what it was is the people who came on the show, they're all YouTubers or streamers, and it got a huge amount of people to view it each time, because they, obviously, if you have tons of people from communities going for it, you're going to have a lot of people watching the show. And basically, at the beginning, the people wrote down, am I attractive to the main person, or do I just want after it all to be over, for them to host, so all of the viewers go straight to my channel, so I get, a bump in revenue and the viewers and all of that stuff. So basically, it would be just like an elimination thing of, oh, I like doing this. What's your ideal date? What's this? Sometimes it would be funnier, sometimes it would be more real. One time for, like, Mother's Day, the guy's mother came on and chose all of the dates for him, and was just like, nah, she's too horny. She's not for you, and stuff like that. But, and then at the very end, the final girl, guy, whatever the case may be, is just like, okay, it's time to reveal, were you in this for love, or were you in this just for the views? And it's a fun thing, but the reason why I brought it up is because you said doing things like this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I mean, I guess you're still technically right even for this, but I remember that it was entertaining, because there were some people who were, like, very small streamers or YouTubers, but got so much more recognition from this that they came back on that show, like, 5 times, and it was pretty entertaining to watch.
So kind of like it's more accessible than ever. It doesn't have to go through big TV production. Is kind of what you're getting at.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. No, that's fair, and maybe that kind of thing would be fun. And I'd probably still go on that, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just sounds like a fun time. But you know what's better than a fun time?
A really fun time?
And that's exactly where I'm going with this, kind of. So, okay, what I'm going to ask is, like, if you were to go on a dating reality TV show, I want you to describe your perfect, ideal one. Like, what would it take, like, to be the perfect one for you? And I'm going to give an example for you right off the bat, which isn't my perfect one, but it's just because I want you to be creative about it.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and open Google for me. That way I can have you look up 2 shows.
Okay.
One is Mr. Personality. You look up dating show with it. That way it comes up.
Mr. Personality dating show.
Yeah, the premise is where you wear these creepy masks. Yeah, I don't know how to describe that.
They really are creepy.
If you could describe it for anyone listening, be my guest.
So it's kind of like those gladiator masks where it doesn't cover your mouth, but it covers the rest of your face, and they're just painted pure silver, and it's really disturbing.
Yeah. And the point is that you're supposed to, like, get to know the person without seeing their face, and then at the end, like, oh my god, maybe you got someone with ugly, someone great, but either way, you love their personality, I guess. And then the other one I want you to look up is Sexy Beasts dating show.
Sexy Beast or Beasts?
With an S, yeah.
Beasts.
So multiple plural.
Dating show. Oh my god, that is horrifying. I just see one of it like a dolphin person. It is so terrible.
Yeah, in this one you get makeup artists to do like amazing transformation on you, so you're not even recognizable. You have like animal body parts and faces, so you don't see the real face of the person until the end of the show, presumably, blah blah blah. Point being, like, I like the idea of a dating game show where it's, you know, there's more than just beyond the looks, because I feel like you're gonna get like coupled up really easily in the traditional dating show. You find this person attractive, they will be the one you go for the majority of the show. So I like the idea of, let's take that out of the equation, you know, that kind of thing.
Gotcha.
But that's an example. I'm gonna take it one step further as to what my ideal one is, kind of in a funny but realistic way, and then I'll have you go, just to buy you some time to think. I like the idea of a Squid Game based TV show.
What's with you, a Squid Game every week?
No, it's only 2 weeks in a row. It's okay. It becomes a problem if it's next week as well.
Okay.
But I want it to be where you form relationships with the people you're going on dates with. But then you see them have to compete against one another in shows, and the person you're going on a date with can get eliminated by losing without you getting any sort of input on it. So then you have to choose between who's left. That could end up really shitty, but it sounds kind of fun and like an amazing twist on the formula.
Okay, fair enough.
So those are the kind it would take on to be like the perfect one for me that's outside the traditional model. Is there anything for you that would make it more entertaining, even if not ideal, you know, from the traditional model, or would you stick with the traditional model for, you know, reality dating shows?
Well, for me to go on? Okay. For me, something that I think sounds fun to, like, experience and could also be fun to watch, and this could be where it's not even just dating. It could be like you don't know if the person that you're going with is a guy or a girl or what, which is, I want something where you set up like the other person's ideal day. So as an example is like, you have a room and you're like, okay, I'm going to set up, you know, what this person eats, what this person, you know, their activities are and all of this stuff. But you don't know who they are, and they don't know who you are because you don't go in there together. And basically, you're setting stuff up for other people and they're setting up stuff for you at different points, and you go through these other people. So you don't even get to talk to them. You just, like, through your interest of, like, shit, you know, this person set up pizza for me and this. Oh, this person was just like, oh, I want fancy lobster and a walk on the beach because that's where the thing goes. So, like, you know nothing about their personality except through the things they get for you. So, like, oh, you know, it's the present day. They, you know, each person gives a present to each other person. It's just like, okay, this person gave everyone a Rolex. This person is just like, yeah, he gave them, you know, a donkey mask or some shit like that. That person's crazy. So it would be like that. And at the end, you got to choose based upon the experiences that they gave you of, like, you know what? I think I'm most into this person's style.
I'm going to be honest with you, I actually kind of like the idea of that. That actually sounds like a fun twist on the formula.
Yeah, because, I mean, it is, you know, it would be fun to be a part of, but also just to watch, of just like you get to figure out people's personalities, how they well chat. And like I said, if you want, you could even be of just of you have completely mixed genders in there, so it's just like, oh, a girl who likes this, and really it's just like two bros. It's just like, man, I may not be gay, but I think I just found my bro for life. It's just like pizza and cod, yeah, pizza and cod, and then they live brovely ever after.
Dude, I think I could totally like get some sort of like vibe for a person from that. I'd be like, you know what, this person planned a pretty good date. Maybe it's a bit unconventional, or maybe it's very conventional. Who cares? Like, point being, like, I could genuinely form some kind of appreciation for a person that way.
Yeah. So I think that would be my ideal show to watch / be in.
All right. So we've got some pretty good, ideas for shows here. We've discussed celebrity crushes and all that. We got a good thing going. But, Dylan, what if I told you that you could go on your very own reality dating TV show, and we're going to get the very first episode of it set up here, right now on this podcast?
Is your mom the dating contestant?
Oh, man, no, because no one would be able to compete with her.
True. Well, I'm looking forward to whatever is in place of that.
Well, to that I say, welcome to the very first episode of Bachelor and Totally Not Hell.
Bachelor and Totally Not Hell, okay.
Yeah, a great selling point. This is the game show where you get to choose between a mix of amazing celebrity dates and then take them on dates from Totally Not Hell.
Okay, I'm interested where this is going. Continue.
Don't worry, the rules for it are pretty simple. I'm going to give you a list of celebrities and tell you why they'd be a great match for you.
Okay, are they real celebrities, or are you just giving me, like, fake names?
They are real celebrities.
Okay.
So you might need to have Google open if you don't know some of them.
I do have Google open.
All right. Yeah, so I'm going to give you the celebrities and why they'd be a good match for you. But one thing to note is you get 2 real facts and 1 fake fact about them. Do you want me to tell you which one's real and which one's fake, or do you want to leave it a surprise for you?
I would leave. Okay, so it's like 2 truths and 1 lie, but with celebrities. Okay, I like this.
Yeah, but you'll okay, so you want me to keep it a secret.
Yeah.
What I will say is it might be a bit obvious, because I was going in with the intention of you knowing as jokes, but I'm going to leave it like this. I'm going to mix them up to make it kind of funny.
Okay, we'll see how this turns out.
All right, and then once you choose your date, the person you're going on the date with, you have to choose between which one of my brilliant date ideas that you're going to take them on. I'm going to lay out the rules for the date. All you have to do is adhere to those rules, and then you can twist it, make it as viable as you want, and whatever. You can play with that as long as you stick to my ground rules, okay?
Okay.
Are you ready?
No, but let's go.
All right, round 1. Your dream celebrity dates are Ariana Grande.
Okay, I know that one.
Doja Cat.
I don't know her face, but I know her. Okay.
And Zendaya.
Okay.
All right. The reasons for why you would be a great match for each of them, or they'd be a great match for you rather, are as below. Ariana Grande. She starred as the emotionally complex, masterfully written character Cat Valentine.
Okay.
She considers Big Time Rush to be her favorite K-pop boy group.
Oh my god.
And a grande at Starbucks is 16 ounces of fluids, which is the same amount. Actually, no, just kidding. But no, that's the fun fact. A grande at Starbucks is 16 ounces.
Is a venti 20? Is that why it's called the venti?
Yeah, 20 something. It might exactly be 20. I'm not sure.
Okay.
And then Trenta is 30. But okay, Doja Cat. The reasons why she'd be great for you. She is, in fact, not a cat. She always announces victory when she has 3 pieces in a row when playing Connect 4.
Okay.
And her first hit song was Moo, a YouTube video where she dressed in cow print and parodied songs by using cow puns.
Okay.
And then for Zendaya, she thinks she remembers some guy named Peter Parker, but there's no such record of such an individual ever existing.
Oh my god, these are terrible. I hate this game show already.
And then next up, she's able to bite into ice cream with her front teeth without any pain or irritation. And she is a 2-time Disney star in both the MCU and Shake It Up, which had your celebrity crush, Bella Thorne, in it.
I'm gonna go for Ariana Grande because My God, everything else made me cringe so hard, where that one was at least just the big time rush thing.
All right, so that was the fake fun fact was the one that won you over. Hell yeah. All right, you get to go on one of these 3 dates from Not Hell, totally Not Hell, with Ariana Grande, and I'm going to describe them to you, and then you get to morph them as long as you work within the rules. Date number 1, you go to an amusement park with her, but you get stuck on the teacups for an hour. They are, however, stuck spinning for the entire hour at full speed.
Oh, God.
2, you go to the movies, but the movie is stuck on commercials and trailers for 45 minutes, but nobody notices until they loop over a second time. At that point, you get informed that the movie will not be playing that day because of technical difficulties, and you are not offered a refund.
Okay.
3, you go to Korean barbecue, but the server forgets your order after every single time you speak to him. So you end up waiting the whole 2-hour waiting period before you get kicked out for, taking up the time of your reservation, and you never get food once.
Okay. Well, for me, just going off of these, like, I'm a meaty boy. I like my food. So me not getting my food, that's just sad. Then the teacups, like, that could be fun if it was for 10 minutes, but 1 hour, like, man, I feel like I'd probably just throw up so much or just faint. So that's no. But a movie with 45 minutes of commercial and then not getting a refund, which is like $25 between 2 people, like, that's not a horrible amount of money, but let's be real, with modern movie theaters, 45 minutes of commercials is kind of correct if you get there on time anyway. So
True.
That's basically just time that you can talk and get to know each other and not throw up and not be annoyed about food. So I guess I'll go with that one.
Oh man, I'm so happy for you. You're the first person on this show will be Ariana Grande, and you get to go on that date with her.
Do I immediately go on another date with someone else?
No, well, yes, actually. The premise is, no dating show is just one person. There's multiple dates. So that's your first date right there. First person, first date from Totally Not Hell.
Okay.
But there's more to this, baby. We got a round 2.
Oh my God. And this is where we end the podcast, this episode. Oops.
No, man, dude. This took me like 2.5 hours to plan, but I was having fun with it.
Oh.
All right. Here is round 2. Your dream celebrity dates. You're probably going to have to look up at least one of them. Billie Eilish.
Okay, I know that one.
Yeah. Olivia Rodrigo.
Olivia Rodrigo.
She is also a Disney star and one of the biggest pop singers on the planet right now.
Okay.
And 3 is Madison Beer.
Madison Beer.
And you will know her without realizing it for one of the fun facts I'll tell you later.
Okay.
All right. Here are the arguments for Billie Eilish. Her middle name is Pirate. She eats cereal with ketchup instead of milk.
Oh God, I hope that's not true.
And she can rock the alternative, clean, and traditional looks. So you really get all you want in one. Well, at least one of those is real. Number 2, Olivia Rodrigo was born and raised in the Mérida Temecula area. So you two are going to have some common ground at least. 2, starred in a Disney show with the best influencer on the planet, Jake Paul. 3, her favorite fast food restaurant is Arby's. She has since declined to comment why. Okay. And then Madison Beer. She spends her free time managing a Rihanna fan account. She always says she always stays when she has a 12 or above in blackjack, as it's too unlikely that she'll bust. Or 3, she is a member of the League of Legends band, KDA, along with, other K-pop members like Soyeon and Miyeon from G-Idol.
Oh, I forgot that the KDA band had white people.
Yeah.
God, all of those are atrocious. I'm going with Billie Eilish just to make you jealous.
Dude, you are ruining me here, man. How could you do that?
Yeah.
All right, so you are the lucky man who gets the Billie Eilish.
Wait, does she eat ketchup with cereal?
No, that was the fake one.
I was hoping, but I didn't know, man.
Ooh. I'm glad I'm keeping these secret. It's more fun.
Yeah.
All right, here are your dates from Totally Not Hell. You go to a concert together, but little did you know, Billy is the one performing. You, unfortunately, are not allowed backstage nor on stage, so you're just in the crowd the whole time. You never really get to know her. Basically, you pay to see her perform. That's the date. So
this takes the parasocial thing that we talked about earlier to the maximum.
To be clear,
I'm on a date with her right now. Really, I promise.
Oh, God. To be clear, you were expecting a date going in, and she said you would be going to a concert together. That is the one specification there. Okay. 2, you get an all-expense-paid trip to Arizona. But little did you know, she just meant a trip to the gas station to get Arizona iced tea, not going to the actual state.
Okay.
3, you go to a dog shelter to pet the dogs, but all the dogs have been adopted. So instead, it's just a bunch of employees in the kennels acting like dogs.
Absolutely, I'm going for number 3. Number 1 is sad. Number 2 is, that's fine. Number 3 is just the best thing that I have ever heard of.
Can you imagine doing that with Billie Eilish? This is literally, oh my God.
Dude, I don't care who I'm going with. I don't care if it's Barack Obama, Billie Eilish, who the fuck. Like, at the end of the day, I just want to see people act like dogs.
Isn't that such a great date idea?
It really is.
I think you know where all the time went in making this.
Clearly. And then you pull up the picture of the date.
Oh my goodness. Dude, imagine if they're actually wearing dog masks and are all fours wearing collars.
Oh my God. Yeah, that just sounds kinky at the end of it.
Oh man. Whew. Alright. Well, there you go. You got Ariana Grande with an amazing date to the movie theater, if I'm not mistaken. You got Billie Eilish with an amazing date to the dog shelter. But it doesn't stop there. Date number 3. You might see a connection here, or you might not.
Okay, my question is, where does it stop? Are we doing this, the real from hell, that we do this until next week?
Nah, there's only 4 total with 1 bonus round.
Okay.
Okay. Your dream celebrity dates are as follows. Chris Rock, Kid Rock, or Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Oh my God. Well, I think I know who I'm going with already, but tell me their traits.
Alright, here are the traits. Chris Rock. Everybody hates Chris.
Okay. I should have seen that one coming.
Yeah. Chris Rock also likes YouTube ads more than the video themselves.
Okay.
And then Chris Rock got slapped by Will Smith.
All right.
That one's pretty obvious to tell which one's the fake one.
Yeah.
Okay. Kid Rock. Why you should go on a date with him. He is, in fact, not a kid, so you're in the clear.
Oh, that's good. I was worried about that.
Kid Rock also goes by the stage name Bobby Shazam.
Okay.
Critics are unsure of which name is worse. And then the next one is he gets jump scared by pop-up books.
Okay.
Alright, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. He is star of the critically acclaimed films The Game Plan and The Tooth Fairy.
I know both of them.
He recently broke out in the underground rap scene for his lyrical genius, rivaling that of Dr. Seuss himself.
Yes.
Or 3, he's not just a boulder, he's a rock.
Oh my God, I hate that. And I'm still going with who I thought I was from the beginning. I'm going with Dwayne The Rock.
Not surprised. But boy, you got some fun dates ahead of you.
Oh God, yeah, I love them all.
Okay, date number 1. You go to a concert together, but they force you into the mosh pit of a death metal concert with them, and you do not escape that mosh pit for the duration of the concert.
Okay.
Date number 2. They take you shopping and tell you to get anything and everything you want. You find out at the register that you're actually the one paying for it all. They were simply encouraging you to treat yourself.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Or 3. You go to an escape room together, but they spend the whole time complaining about being unable to solve the puzzle, even though they're trying to solve the one that you already solved.
I'm going with this one, number 3, because I would love to imagine The Rock in an escape room where I just imagine when he can't get through it that he just uses his biceps to get through whatever puzzle should have been.
Yeah, honestly, he could probably just punch through the wall and help you get out.
It's like, who needs to do puzzles? What's the rock cooking, or whatever the fuck his line is?
I don't even know. All right, date number 4. This is the last real round, okay?
Okay.
All right, your dream celebrity dates are as follows. Jisoo from Blackpink.
Okay, I choose Jisoo.
Oh, no, you haven't heard the others yet, and you haven't heard the facts either.
Oh.
All right, Miyeon from G-Idol.
Okay.
Or Yeji from ITZY.
Okay, so I can see that you're just writing down my visually most attractive people.
Yeah, literally. Don't worry. I spent a while trying to come up with who's the third person, and then I remembered Yeji. Don't worry.
Okay.
All right. The reasons why they would be great dates for you are as follows. Jisoo. She loves playing video games and is very down-to-earth for a celebrity. But you already know that. All right, next one.
This sounds creepy.
Don't worry. We're not stopping there. The reason number 2. She has stated that if she were a guy and were to date any member in Blackpink, she would choose Rosé, and so would I. But you already know that.
I do. For both of those, I know that you would choose that, and that she would choose that.
And then number 3. She walks up and down stairs on all 4s. But interestingly enough, she does so backwards, so she never quite see where she's going. But you already knew that.
Apparently.
Alright. Okay, so now for Miyeon. I don't know how to pronounce it. Point being, the reason why she would be a great date for you. She is also a member of the League of Legends band, KDA.
Yes.
So, that kind of works out there. You could also meet Madison Beer in case you have, second thoughts on Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
All right, next up, she was reportedly supposed to debut with Blackpink, but as we all know, that didn't happen.
Yes, I already know that, because she was reported to be on a date with a different K-pop guy, and they were like, no.
You know the story. All right, next up, she is quite confused about how Goofy and Pluto are both considered to be dogs, and she demands an explanation.
Well, I mean, who isn't confused? Yeah.
I don't know anyone who isn't. All right, now for our final person in this round, Yeji. She earned her driver's license solely so that she could drive in the Not Shy music video. Unfortunately, she actually failed once and had to retake it. Next up, she had to stay in the hospital for an entire year at the age of 7. So at least, unlike most celebrities, you can't say she was super sheltered and coddled growing up. Boom, down to earth.
Okay, I mean, I feel like that's the opposite. She was very sheltered because she was in the hospital the entire time.
That is messed up. And then her third, fun fact about her, she spends her free time dubbing laugh tracks over shows that don't have one, including shows that aren't comedies.
That sounds horrible, and I love that.
Which one of those are going to be your dates?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Jisoo was always my go-to out of those. But the third Yeji fact, which I know is made up, honestly makes me want to choose that one. But I am going to stick with my day one, Jisoo.
That's fair. Dude, I had so much fun writing those fake fun facts with Jisoo when I was thinking of someone walking up and down the stairs on all 4s, going fucking backwards. I was literally laughing out loud at 2 a.m.
It sounds like something that we would have done while you were living at my house.
Probably. Okay, so you get to go on one of 3 dates from Totally Not Hell with Jisoo.
Okay.
And here are your choices. She takes you to Dairy Queen to order blizzards.
Oh.
With the very first one, she turns it upside down above your head just for laughs, but it actually spills all over you. She feels really bad, so she goes up and orders you another, to which she jokingly turns it upside down above your head again, and whoa, what do you know? It spills all over you again.
Okay.
She apologizes profusely and goes to buy another, but not before excitedly saying, "Third time's the charm."
Okay.
Alright, date idea number 2. She asks you to come over to Netflix to chill, but when you get there, she's watching the news and is so wrapped up in it that you spend the whole entire night doing nothing but watching the news with her. Or 3, she goes to KCON with you, but she is constantly recognized by people in the audience. So she's busy taking selfies with fans the entire time. And unfortunately, you're in every photo with her because you're her date.
This one's easy for me. Dairy Queen, ride or die. Like, I don't care if it's on my head or on the floor. I love me some Dairy Queen.
That's fair. I just love the thought of someone being so fucking stupid. They keep doing that.
Well, I still love... I'm not sure if you remember this, but one of our mutual friends... from high school, because I would go to Dairy Queen every other Friday when the carpool picked us all up, and I remember one time we were just waiting, and he just, like, had a brain fart, and as they were making the the Blizzard right in front of him, he just walks up and goes, "We're ready now," and they're like, "Yeah, we're making the Blizzard," and he was just like, "Oh, yeah," and we just gave him shit for that for the next, like, 2 years, because it's like, what do you... Oh my god.
Honestly, that is fair. Just like his brain just stopped working.
Yeah.
Whew. All right. Well, those are the 4 actual rounds. So before I get to the bonus round, just for funsies, I'll say those are your 4 dates and the 4 dates from hell that you take them on. Out of those 4, which one gets the second date?
Oh, always Jisoo 10 times out of 10. I don't know what shit. That's not even... I don't care if we're going to the, like, get stabbed in the abdomen by pitchfork club. Like, I'm choosing Jisoo 10 times out of 10.
That is fair. That is fair. With that is how your first episode of Bachelor in Totally Not Hell would go.
Okay.
But we got the bonus round.
Yeah.
I didn't write fun facts for this. I didn't write dates from hell because I think that it stands on its own merits. It's such a tough decision.
Oh, okay.
Which member of Big Time Rush will be your true lucky date?
Oh.
It's your choice if you choose the actual person or the character.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. If we're... I gotta go with... Which one is my actual date for Big Time Rush? Well, I think...
I told you it'd be a hard decision.
This one is a hard one. I think I gotta go with James.
Really? Why?
Because he was on Dancing with the Stars, and my grandmother watched Dancing with the Stars and was like, "Hey, you would like that guy from Nickelodeon. I hope he does good." And, you know, this one's for you, Grandma. This one's for you.
I can respect that. Now, can you describe me your date with James? It doesn't have to be a date from hell, or it could be a date from hell if you got inspired.
Okay, so I go with James to Dairy Queen. and
yes.
And I get him I was gonna say McFlurry, a Blizzard.
Oh god.
And then I jokingly dump it on his crotch on accident, and then I go, "What? And then the date ends.
Wow, that's a date from hell. You kept up with the theme. Wow, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
Whew. Well, that concludes our game. May I get your thoughts on how our first game went?
I hope that it was our first and last game of Dates from Hell.
Oh, don't worry. I don't think I have the energy to put that much time into making another game of this.
Oh, thank God. This was atrocious.
I told you I had a great idea for this week.
Yeah, now I know next time when you say, "Hey, I have an idea. Can I do all of the topics next time?" I'll just be like, no.
I think I've jokingly said before, never ever let me get inspired, because I will take it too far.
Yeah, apparently.
Ooh. Well, I'm all out of topics with that, so if you have any closing thoughts, remarks, or anything, feel free to insert, but otherwise I'm good ending it there.
I think that we should just end this with an apology to my mother, because she's the only listener, and I'm sorry, Mom, if you made it this far in the podcast, because this was terrible. Blame Jonathan.
If she actually made it this far, I feel bad.
Exactly.
For what it's worth, though, just really quickly, regardless of the fun facts, like, just the ones I would have chose, Ariana Grande, Billie Eilish, The Rock, and probably Yeji. Okay. So I think we only differed on, was it 1 or 2?
Yeah, just on the last one.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I'll tell you this: if the comedy dubs were real, maybe.
That's fair. That's fair. I had so much fun writing that. But on that note, if we're all done, then I think it's about time we send off.
All right. Well, till next time. Ta-ta for now.
Ta-ta for now.